Have you ever left a room full of people feeling lonelier than when you arrived? Not because you were ignored, not because you disliked people, but because the conversation felt unfinished, surface level. And when you tried to take it deeper, the room subtly resisted. If that sounds familiar, this might explain why. What if that experience isn't social failure? What if intelligence doesn't just change how well you think, but how you experience the world? Welcome to the Psychology Ledger. This is where we explore the psychology behind everyday life. Not self-help hype, not textbook theory, just real patterns, explained clearly. And today we're talking about the quiet struggles of intelligent minds. Meet David, software engineer, IQ 142 at age 28. The kid teachers called gifted. The adult companies call when things break. He writes code most people don't understand. He sees patterns others miss. But he eats lunch alone. Not because people dislike him, because he never quite knows how to just talk. At team happy hour, someone asks what he does for fun. He says he's been reading about quantum mechanics. The conversation dies. Netflix replaces him. He goes home early, and later that night, sitting on his couch, he asks himself, is something wrong with me? The answer is no. But understanding why requires something deeper than stereotypes. It requires understanding what intelligence actually does to your internal world. Intelligence isn't one thing. It's pattern recognition, abstract reasoning, working memory, processing speed. But here's what most people don't realize. These abilities don't just help you solve problems. They change how you perceive reality. Highly abstract thinkers don't process information at one level. They automatically search for structure, for patterns beneath the surface, for meaning behind the obvious. And when your brain consistently operates at that depth, the gap between how you think and how most people think becomes noticeable. Not better, not worse, just different. And that difference creates friction. Let's look at 8 ways that friction shows up. 1. Small talk feels draining. Small talk doesn't bore you, it starves you. When someone says, crazy weather today, your brain jumps to climate systems, social scripts, behavioral norms. By the time you're 3 layers deep, they've moved on. Surface exchanges feel incomplete. And forcing yourself to stay there feels like slowing down your own processor. Exhausting, artificial. 2. You overthink before you speak. Most people speak and refine later. You refine before speaking. You simulate reactions, interpretations, implications. And by the time you've decided it's safe to talk, the moment has passed. People call you quiet. Internally, you've already delivered a TED Talk. 3. Social cues feel like translation. This isn't about empathy. Many intelligent people feel deeply, but intuitive social reading relies on fast, emotional processing. Highly analytical brains process socially in a slower, more deliberate way. Less instinct, more decoding. It becomes translation. And translation takes energy. And here's where most discussions get this wrong. They talk about intelligence as a gift, but they rarely talk about the invisible cost. The part that doesn't show up on IQ tests. Because the next struggles aren't about what you can't do. They're about what your mind won't stop doing. 4. Real connection feels rare. You don't want applause. You want understanding. But most conversations require compression. Simplifying your thoughts. Reducing complexity. Holding back depth so it feels digestible. And that creates quiet loneliness. The few people who think at similar depth become invaluable, but finding them feels like linguistic alignment in a foreign country. 5. Isolation becomes easier. When interaction requires constant translation, withdrawal feels efficient. Not dramatic, not emotional, just less friction. Evenings alone feel calm, but sometimes you wonder, is this preference or adaptation? 6. Your mind rarely rests. Your brain doesn't idle. It simulates. You replay conversations, refine arguments, mentally model future scenarios. Even in silence, your cognition is active. It's not anxiety, it's cognitive momentum. But sustained mental activity without rest creates subtle fatigue. You're tired even when nothing happened. 7. Paralysis by analysis. When you can see second-order consequences, decision-making slows down. Route to work, career move, message wording, everything branches. Highly intelligent brains generate more projections, more possibilities, and more possibility means more friction. Sometimes intelligence complicates what instinct would have solved. 8. The pressure never stops. When you're labeled smart early, it becomes identity. Teachers expect excellence, bosses expect solutions, and eventually, you expect it too. Every mistake feels disproportionate, not because you fear failure, but because you fear misalignment with the identity people built around you. The pressure isn't external, it's internalized. For years, David believed he needed to adapt, tone himself down, appear lighter, shrink the depth. Then something shifted. At a conference, he met another engineer. They spoke for hours. Architecture, philosophy, consciousness. No translation, no compression, just shared depth. They're friends now. Not many, but real. And David is starting to realize maybe the goal isn't universal adaptation. Maybe it's selective alignment. Here's the quiet truth. You're not socially broken. You're cognitively misaligned with certain environments. Different operating systems don't always sync. That doesn't make one superior. It makes compatibility selective. High intelligence isn't purely add. High intelligence isn't purely advantage. It's nuanced. The same mind that sees patterns everywhere may struggle to relax inside simplicity, may feel alien in casual rooms. It's not better, it's not worse, it's different. And different requires intentional environments. So here's the real question. Are you still shrinking yourself to fit rooms that exhaust you? Or are you building a life around how you actually think? Maybe the solution isn't becoming smaller. Maybe it's finding spaces that can hold your depth. If this changed how you think about intelligence, subscribe to the Psychology Ledger. We explore the psychology behind everyday life, memory, decisions, behavior, relationships. And drop a comment below. Which of these 8 struggles felt most familiar? I read every one. I'll see you in the next video.